So I'm now 12 hours removed from Joy to the World, and I just want to say, what the hell was that? I enjoyed a good chunk of the meal, but certain bits were a little eyebrow raising, or in my opinion, just bad and not really how I see Doctor Who. But we'll get there. Hello, I am Patrick, and I'll be delivering you my opinion on this year's Doctor Who special. Why is my opinion worth noting? Well, you clicked on the video, and I'm partially drunk right now, after my Boxing Day party, so who knows what I'll say. Probably something really unhinged. I think the best way to describe my opinion of this episode is to relate it to my opinion of Ncuti's first season. It's the exact same. If you watched my preload video for this review, check the description below. I noted my opinion was that the main chunk of the season was solid, but the ending left me with this uninspiring anticlimax that stopped me from really discussing the season. I didn't say uninspiring in the prelude, but now reflecting on this episode and that season, I think it's a good word for it. I partially lost interest in talking about the show after that ending. Had the option many times to pick up a new microphone and start uploading again, but I didn't, because what was I going to say? All my hyping and excitement for RTD just didn't taxi across the runway like it should. The show landed perfectly. Sure, there was some rough episodes, but just sort of halted at the dismount. I want to get through all the stuff I didn't like first, because I don't want to talk about it. I haven't seen the community's reaction yet, so this is raw dogging more than I have before. I usually have some level of instinct, but like I said in the prelude, due to my move from Twitter to Blue Sky, the Who community is a mystery box to me. I don't know who's still there, and I don't know what's being said. I think it's probably a good thing, because there's a lot of positive and negative extremists in that general vicinity. But what didn't I like? I think the character work was pretty underwhelming. Characters were there, and the writing did give the characters sympathetic qualities to care about, but that doesn't mean I should care. If you see a family film mainly featuring a lovable dog, you somewhat expect that dog to die at some point. Most of those films are designed in a way to just farm that emotional reaction from you. This can take many forms: nostalgia, pouring love into an unlovable creature or character, the dog just being cute, and the classic set of circumstances: a self-sacrifice, courage in a moment of danger, or a sad, mistreated dog in the rain. Some of those films aren't made with thematic purpose or art in mind. Its only purpose is to make you feel something and buy whatever the film is trying to sell you. Or, in a few rare circumstances, gain enough general pop culture fame to win some sort of award. This episode felt like that for every character except maybe two. I don't usually mind this in Doctor Who, because I don't usually see this, but it's so obvious here and poorly hidden, I can't help but see it. This episode was written by Stephen Moffat. He does lean on this kind of thing, but not usually to this degree. It's easy to point a finger at Disney for any negatives I have towards the show, but this feels like a Disney move. Tied to this, here comes the spoilers if you haven't seen the episode already. You have the conclusion that left the fate of multiple unprepared sacrifice characters to suddenly be totally okay with dying for a star. I'm all for accepting one's fate, but to do that within 30 minutes perfectly without hesitation feels like a full lean into the religious framing the show moves into over any relatable character motivation that, in my opinion, the episode just didn't set up. If the characters were written in a way that leaned into the Star of Bethlehem, that would be something, but these are such nothing characters who are given nothing to work with. It feels gross to me that we killed off these characters for an aspect that was never even mentioned. The ending is a certain reveal that will leave a differing emotional reaction to different people. It's not a clean reveal or a surprise, so I feel gross in that people were quickly willing to sacrifice themselves for it. And I do mean gross. I have no problem with religious imagery in Doctor Who. But it having that just dropped like this does make me kind of flinch. Just feels weird. What also made me flinch was the Doctor getting milk for a coffee. Not a big thing, but shouldn't that really be a tea? Now I have one last complaint that isn't as big. They're doing the Doctor is lonely narrative beat again. A. I feel like we've done this story to death several times since the best version of it. B. We've had the best version of the story and this ain't it. C. The Fifth Doctor doesn't fit with this story. This episode literally contradicts the actual dynamics of how this story is presented to us. The main aspects of this story follows three separate items. 1. The Doctor is being actively reclusive. You can find this in multiple episodes. They don't want to see anyone, or they're emotionally / physically running from situations that would get them close to people. If you've seen the episode, you know this couldn't be further from the truth. 2. Not having a companion is actively harming the Doctor, either in thinking process or with the Doctor being more reckless than usual. And 3. They're emotionally scarred by something causing items 1 and 2 to happen. You could say Ruby leaving is scarring, but that was consensual, and this version of the Doctor has had time to understand how to feel and process emotions, so this thing shouldn't really be happening. I don't know, it feels like how the Doctor should be reacting prior to the 15th Doctor, not after. This is a different version of the Doctor who is more in tune with their emotions and how they should adjust and position themselves to actually process a companion leaving, especially in a consensual manner. What would happen if this Doctor lost a companion? Like, that's what I think about. Like, if this is what happens when a companion just goes, yeah, I'm kind of going to tap out and live my life. What if a companion dies on their watch? They're going to have a total breakdown. That's it for the bad stuff. I don't want to think about it. Let's go to the good stuff. The stuff you expect to be good here is good. Moffat has perfected bringing Christmas to screen, and it feels joyful. The production feels big in a way that previous Christmas stories haven't actually succeeded at, except maybe The End of Time. Moffat being Moffat means we get a bit of time travel fun. One bit is a bit dumb, but he gives a good enough excuse that if you're a seasoned veteran with cheesy sci-fi, it's easily shrugged off. Paradoxes should happen, but it doesn't because Time Hotel. The show has ignored bigger problems, paradoxes and problems like this in the past, so this feels acceptable to me. This all leans into a larger scene that isn't necessarily important to the narrative, but does give us a good bit of content. If you enjoyed the Doctor bumming around during the Power of Three, this will be an irresistible, enjoyable set of moments for you. With one of the better side characters in the episode. A part of me feels like we're setting something up here with them, but not with any strong ties. So if they choose to ignore the Time Hotel moving forward, we aren't really losing anything of weight. I don't know if I want to see more of the Time Hotel personally, but it's Doctor Who. You could do something with it at some point. Overall, I think the story has a strong base and potential to do better, but the version we got just lacked actual believable characters and an ending that felt connected to everything else that was happening. As a guiding star, it didn't guide the narrative at all. It's like having Christmas lunch with one side of the family and then go to the other half and see baby Jesus everywhere and go, oh right, it's Christmas. I give the episode a high 6 or a low 7. Thank you for watching. If you could subscribe, that'd be great. If you don't, that's fine. I'll be here regardless of what you do. I hope you had a lovely Christmas, and I'll see you next time.